Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Last night, we cleared the final of base Stormblood. Now we're going to dive into the patch content. And everybody is wearing their Christmas stuff except for me. But that's fine. So, let's dive on in. Alright, we are live. In the palace? No, not me, lad. Surely you've heard stories of the Mad King. He used to hold public executions up on the divine audience. Anyone, and I mean anyone, suspected of conspiring against the crowd was flung from the top of those steps. Suffice it to say that I stayed as far away from the palace as possible.
That's right, that's what we're doing.
Trying to find the Mad King's treasure.
Yeah.
You want to hear an old maid's stories, do you? Aye, well, most of what I know of the Bad King is common knowledge. We'd only see his royal majesty when he deigned to attend the executions he ordered. And after a while, even watching his enemies die wasn't enough to coax him out of hiding. They say he started seeing assassins in every shadow, and wouldn't set foot outside the palace walls. I was offered work there as a royal servant once, but the mere thought of it left me in a cold sweat. The map isn't terribly helpful with these streets.
No.
I served at the pleasure of King Theodoric, and lived to tell the tale. One of the palace guards I was. Truth be told, it was a dark chapter in my life, and one I'd sooner forget. Hardly a night went by when we didn't hear the blood-curdling screams echoing from the inner chambers, which of course we were under orders to ignore. So we'd stand still as statues, trying not to imagine what horrors were unfolding within. If you're hell's bent on finding out what happened in the palace, head down the street here and ask old Arnold. He was the king's head scribe. Yes, I'm Arnold. What do you want with me? You would have me dredge up some decidedly unsavory memories. Yet, if Alamigo is to move forward, we must needs acknowledge the misdeeds of the past. Very well, I shall tell you what I remember. I take it you know of Theodoric's paranoia and the public executions of his kinsmen. Those were terrible enough, but in his last days the king's fevered mind settled upon an even grislier method of disposal, which only a chosen few were unfortunate enough to witness. His Majesty ordered the court thaumaturge to unleash a vile curse upon the remaining members of the royal family, a magic which transformed them into fiends of hideous aspect. The resulting monstrosities were then cast into the darkness below the palace. Even now, my sleep is troubled by nightmares. If others of Theodoric's blood were prone to share his madness, then mayhap it was a kindness that the monarchy ended with them. So there's something terrible under the palace. Good to know.
which results in a dungeon.
Almost certainly.
What was that?
Results in a dungeon.
Oh, yeah.
Since we're all here, why don't we share what we've learned? Allow me to begin, then. As promised, I scoured the Imperial records for any mention of fantastic treasures, and found precisely none. It is just possible, I suppose, that a corrupt official deliberately hid the fact of the trove's discovery, hoping to enrich himself, but I find it rather unlikely that so valuable a find would stay secret for long. I conclude that our prize either does not exist, or the Imperials somehow overlooked it. But what of you? Were your investigations any more fruitful? Turned into monsters? And what could he mean by the darkness beneath the palace, I wonder? I met an old man in Alighieri who spoke of the palace's subterranean prison, but he said naught of cursed abominations. The Imperial archives were also silent on the subject of fiends inside the palace grounds. Could this scribe fellow have been spinning him a yarn, do you think? Did you believe him? I'm going with option 1. He was afraid. That does lend credence to the tale, though I'm not sure how that helps us in our search. Do not be so hasty. Arnold's anecdote may very well have told us where the trove is hidden, but ere I share my theory, there is a matter I would clarify. Arnvald, you spoke of light-hearted adventure, but I sense a deeper motive for this expedition. Why are you so intent on finding this treasure? It wasn't all pretense, I swear it, but you're right. My father was in the Imperial Army, a man of Garlean blood. I trust you know what I mean when I say that my Alamegan mother did not welcome my arrival. As I grew, she would check my brow over and over, convinced that a spot on my skin was an emerging third eye, like the kind you see in pure-blood Garleans. My mother did not care for this taunting reminder of my heritage, and took up a knife. War paint serves to cover the scar. In the end, she turned me out into the street, and I was left to haunt the alleyways of Alamigo, a feral child who got what he needed through begging, cunning, or worse. The best I can say about the years that followed is that I survived, but I hated the animal I'd become. Eventually, I left the city behind me, and joined a group of refugees bound for the other side of the wall. It was then that I turned to adventuring, and that road led me into the company of the Scions. I tell you this so that you understand. I know all too well what poverty and hunger can do to a person. I drew steel on ordinary folk for a measly crust of bread. With Theodoric's gold, I could spare my countrymen the shame of living like that. Thank you, Arnvald. And I apologize. That could not have been pleasant to recall. But I felt it best to be clear in our intentions. Well, are you content to surrender the treasure of Arnvald's noble cause, and claim the thrill of adventure as your reward? Then I should be glad to tell you my theory on the resting place of the Mad King's Trove, if you are minded to hear it. I'm gonna have to find my way to my retainers soon. Because I don't have enough room in my inventory to open that box.
Do you have? I was gonna say, do you have any room in your chocobo's stuff?
Absolutely not.
Okay, never mind.
Actually, mayhap it would be better if we first adjourn to a more suitable location. In case a rival treasure hunter overhears our plans, you mean? Good thinking. That was not exactly the reason, but is certainly a valid concern. Let us reconvene at the southern edge of Loch Seld. I will be right back. Alright, on my way back.
We should get a. You should get the outfit anyway, Kath, just to see if you can get the Chris or Santa hat. Run around in all your full plate and everything, and transmog your headgear with the Santa hat. If it works,
Yeah.
I mean, just get it to see if it works, and if it does work, then that would be cool.
I don't know any reason why I couldn't wear the Santa hat.
Yeah, just transmog the hat then, or the headgear. That'd be awesome.
There it is in chat, so you can see it when you're done.
Forgive me, 'twas not my intention to draw out proceedings. I simply wished to have the lock in sight when I explain things. Prior to the great flood of the Sixth Umbral Calamity, the salt lakes you see before you were yet dry ravines. And this, believe it or not, was the site of the ancient city of Scala, which rose and fell during the Fifth Astral Era. For what we know of this period, the city was already deserted by the time the waters began to rise. Having been all but destroyed by war, yet its ruins remain to this day at the bottom of Loch Seld. It is my belief that the darkness beneath the palace mentioned by Theodoric's former scribe was not a reference to the prison, but to a place still further below, the ruins of Scala. I further surmise that the Mad King's unfortunate kinsmen were cast down there not simply out of a desire to punish them, but to discourage exploration. Theodoric wanted to keep the ruins secure. Wait, you're saying that they were meant to guard the Mad King's trove? Precisely. And since we know the court thaumaturge was involved, we can safely assume that any entrance into the old city has been magically concealed. Which would explain how a legion of Imperial soldiers and the gods know how many Alamegans never found a trace of the trove. We, however, have certain advantages which they did not enjoy. Would you be so good as to swim down to the bottom of the loch and search for an underwater route into the ruins? While you do that, Arnvald and I will seek out an ensorcelled portal within the palace. Ah, yes, because Alphanode can't swim.
Yeah, I was thinking about then. I was thinking about, well, what? Oh, yeah, that's right. He won't go.
Yeah, Alice was with us and gained the blessing of swimming underwater, but Alphanode was not. And probably wouldn't have done it anyway because he can't swim. And yes, I can wear the hat.
Yay!
Quick, we gotta go back to that guy.
I could actually give a hat because I can't wear a hat, so
Oh,
I'll trade you the
that
hat.
You could trade that hat. Oh, perfect! Unless you want the outfit, Kath.
I'm good.
As fast as he's swimming ahead of everybody, it looks like he's trying to get away. So I don't know if he really wants it at all. Ah, my good Christmas gear's all wet now. Ah, snowflakes.
At first glance, Zora, I keep thinking your eyes are glowing red.
Just
Justin
one.
knows.
Indeed, Squatchy. Indeed.
Sorry, I had another brain fart about how I dive in this game.
Ah, no problem.
I just started mashing numbers or buttons.
You discover a passage that appears to lead under the palace foundations. Press on and find out where it goes. Over in WoW, I still carry around my fishing rod that I got back in Wrath that lets me breathe underwater for whenever I need to go deep underwater. You come to a worn stone door, standing temptingly ajar. It would appear you have found an entrance into the subterranean ruins. It's Alphanode. We have searched the prison beneath the palace and found a door concealed by enchantments. Have you aught to report? And you believe it leads into the ruins. Excellent. Then I will proceed. Then I propose we proceed from our respective entry points and look to meet somewhere in the middle. Now come on, lads. We might as well make it a race. Victory goes to the first adventurer to find the treasure. Godspeed.
Chicken.
Chicken?
Flounder on land. Won't come in anyway.
Oh. Well, we do have the blessing of being able to breathe underwater. Neither of them do. They would have drowned by now.
So, are we going in there?
Are we ready?
Yes.
Well, you need to transmog your headpiece. Let me get you a stone. We can't go in there if we're not all festive.
Okay, I'm gonna trade the hat to you.
Alright.
Me or him?
You don't
Him.
need the hat.
Well, I know, but I'm also trading the glamour. I didn't know who she was going to give it to.
Oh.
Did
Let me
you
get a
trade?
jacket on. Hold on.
What's that?
She's cold. She's getting a jacket.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm wondering, can I trade yet?
Oh yes, I'm done.
Oh, what was that?
I have glamour prisms, KJ.
Yeah, but you don't have 250 like I do.
Trade them to me then.
No. They'd be gone within the second. Buy those things in stock. Yeah, see, you look better already. Wait, is she back yet?
Probably not.
Should I put wait or
Yeah, I'm
are
ready.
we going? You're back?
If we're in a party, if everybody doesn't hit the button, it's just going to kick us out of the queue and make us start over. So.
Okay.
Not as critical if we were trying to pug.
Right.
Well, there's your one flying pet thingy.
No, the Starbird was so pretty. I've gotta have to Google that and figure out how to get that.
Well, that was a
Oh,
pretty
I'm so
lizard
excited.
looking feathery thing.
Oh, I love the hat.
Told ya.
Oh yeah, looks good.
Now,
The
if you just have black trim on it.
I just Googled Starbird Minion Final Fantasy XIV and got an article written 6 days ago, so it's probably an Endwalker somewhere.
Oh, okay. Alright.
Have to
Brand
wait
new.
a little bit.
I like the little
That does
songbird
work.
too. There's a little songbird that's also just a blue one. But
The music is odd in here.
it is.
I think it's the same Alamigo anthem they were playing yesterday, just slower.
Yeah, it does sound like that. Ooh.
Ooh, yeah.
There's a mount. I get it. I call it. If.
Yeah, I'm not sure there is a mount.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen something like
The
that.
looks designed to be one though.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. Alright, Torpedo is the tank buster. Rising Seas is a group AoE. Hydra Pull, move away from Kelpie to avoid outer edge damage. Hydra Push, move to Kelpie to avoid outer edge damage. And Bloody Puddle, targets players for AoE and tethered orbs. Spread puddles to avoid damage and debuffs and kite orbs away. And try to avoid going outside the platform.
Are we standing outside the platform? That's I'm
I
assuming.
think the water part is outside of the platform. We want to stay on the
Yeah,
side.
I would think so. It doesn't actually say, but I believe that is what it is, yes.
I mean, we'll find out real quick, but. Oh yeah, it's all red.
Away. Get away from him.
Ah.
Close to him. I thought your summon was an ad there, Sora. Get away from him.
Oh, okay.
Just to confirm one thing, everybody is wearing their proper gear, right?
I think
Yes.
so.
Okay. Just making sure.
I had to triple check my bow, but yeah, I think so.
Why are we not doing very good damage?
Oh, I'm not tracking. It was just a... Sometimes the boss's life bar didn't seem to be moving, and sometimes it seemed to be moving a lot. So...
Yeah.
Oh, I thought there were 3 ads here because of the 3 things, but it's just one.
mhm.
I'm a dork.
It probably just means our DPS is bursty right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the healer wasn't doing damage.
Oh, ass. Who's not getting heals tonight?
Oh, you already got me yesterday, so I ain't afraid. Kiss, kiss.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody likes baked potatoes.
Yep.
Enemies might leave us alone if we give them one.
Oh, wait, what? Are you referring to me as a potato?
Uh-huh.
Potato.
That is rude.
Well, that was a little odd. Did somebody have a group stun that they used there?
Well, my one burst does a stun, but
Ah, okay, okay.
it doesn't always stop any kind of... It doesn't always stop casting, but sometimes it does.
That time it did. Because I know I was standing in the middle of a Venn diagram. And like, I need to get out of this, and took one step and all 3 circles disappeared.
Yeah, the same thing happened to me because I finished casting that and I moved and it stopped and I was like, oh, it went away and I thought I was gonna get hit, and then I didn't take any damage, so I was like, oh, okay.
You snapped your fingers and told them to shut up. That's what you did.
I did.
You, get over here. Kind of a creepy doll thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alright, Mystic Light is a large frontal cone on a random player. Mystic Flame is a large circle AoE under random players. Shifting Lights turns players into Spriggans with an action ability. So, round 1 spawns 4 ads that must be destroyed ASAP to avoid self-destruct. Round 2 spawns 6 ads that must be destroyed using your Spriggan action ability to destroy ads. So, if you get turned into a Spriggan, use the button it gives you to kill the ads. If you don't have that ability, kill the ads. Kill the ads. And we've been turned into Spriggans. Kill the ads.
I don't see what thing I have.
Shatter.
Places your one.
Nice.
Kind of a weird fight, that one.
Yeah, one of the easiest ones we've had, really.
True.
The only thing I didn't like it is that it dismissed my carbuncle.
Oh, when you turned into a Spriggan?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So then you have to take time to summon it again.
Yeah.
I don't like how we haven't seen any mobs yet. I'm starting to think something's going to bust out the walls at us.
Well, we are just killing off his descendants, and they're mutated. Unless they brought it with them.
Or if these things were already down here to begin with.
That's true.
Well, there's some mobs.
Speak and it shall be whatever.
Provided.
Provided. There we go. You asked for it. There you go.
I accept no blame for this.
What? Oh, no, what?
Okay.
Interesting.
Could be. You, get over here. These are his family members. The blue guys.
Yeah. Oh, and then when they die, they go back to human form.
Interesting.
Oh, he's big.
Indeed he is. Alright. Rusting Claw says he'll raise his right arm, move away from the front of him. Tail Drive, raise his tail, move away from the rear. Spin, crouches down for a proximity AoE, move away from him. Ring of Chaos, selected player moves to the boss to allow party to move to safe area. So when you get Ring of Chaos, move to him. Eye of Fire, look away from boss to avoid confusion. Cross of Chaos, cross-shaped AoE, attack from affected player. Stop moving to allow other players to dodge. Circle of Chaos, circle AoE from affected player, move away from the party. And Words of Woe, faces a random player for a column attack. So basically it's stay out of the thing. When he casts Ring of Chaos, run to him. And be prepared to look away when you're told to look away, or when you see the red eyeball. Because it should be the same red eyeball icon that all the other enemies use.
Right. I went in the right place, right? That was me.
Looked like it.
Oh shoot, I missed the look away.
Yeah, I missed the look
So
away
did
too.
I saw it, I turned and I said it, and I still caught it.
I think the one you had was the one where you don't move so that we can move away.
Oh. Okay, that hurt. No, this is the one I don't move so people can get out of the way.
Okay, maybe, yeah. Don't move on this one either. Or I guess.
No, I moved to him. You guys can still get, yeah.
I guess if we can avoid the things, it's all good.
Yeah.
Get away from him.
Okay.
And he does the sight thing, I think, soon after.
I died.
Okay, I'll get you.
Okay. That should be good for you guys. I'll stay here, or you want me to move in? Just
Look away.
I.
Oh, I beat you up. Okay.
Yeah. It's alright. I might have been like sticking you with arrows, so.
That's alright.
Poke, 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 poke.
Oh,
I like to think of it as stabby, stabby, stabby.
oh, sorry. Oh, that's pretty easy. I don't move, right?
Yeah, you don't move. I gotta get in here, but you gotta back away from that circle. Okay.
I'm not moving.
Well, yeah. Kind of goes off fast.
Y'all were all standing in the tail zone there.
Yeah, but we were also safe in
Get away.
Zora's circle.
black circle we get away
Very
from
good.
people?
No, watch out.
Look away.
You know what? I don't know. I did. Okay. I still had the shield thing on there. I thought I got looked at him, stunned. So do you want to hit him with the thing? Is it limit time breaker?
Might as well.
I want to see Zora's again.
Oh, limit?
Yeah. That's top damage. You're good right there.
You hit it. Why didn't it work?
It's a channeled attack. You probably moved or something and interrupted it.
Oh, goodness. Alright.
We won. It's fine.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Is this a crazy king? Or.
I imagine just another one of his family members.
Oh, I had a sad face.
Me too. In my Christmassy gear. That was sad.
Need on the orchestra roll?
Yeah. I wonder if this is the picture of the Mad King.
He looks mad.
That hair definitely makes him look crazy.
Yeah.
And it just looks like he skinned a carbuncle and stuck it on his head. Skunk head.
Aw, he deserves to die.
He went mad because everybody called him carbuncle head.
Oh, bugger it.
Pink carbuncle
Are you all
head.
right? Aye. Aye. Everything's still attached.
Ah, it seems both our paths led here. Very good. We spent altogether too much time fleeing fiends horrid and numerous. How fared you? Much the same, then. 'Twould appear this place is yet inhabited by King Theodoric's kin, or what is left of them. The work of terrible magics, I fear.
Terrible, aye. But their misfortune is our fortune?
Quite. By the 12, there is even more than I imagined.
Oh, I can't wait to see the look on Lisa's face. Thanks for believing in me, you two.
We better get that government going out here and get the money taken care of before the old people come running over. Those damn Lalafells filling their pockets full. Little shits. Sorry. Go ahead.
Arenvald and I forged ahead at the fastest pace we could manage. But I was not surprised to find you waiting for us. I suppose it serves us right for challenging the Warrior of Light. Next time, we should agree on some manner of handicap. We may have lost Alphanode, but think of what we found. Quite, I am still reeling at the sight of the mountain of riches. What? Like how you reeled at the sight of that floating specter, you mean? You should have seen him scream. Must we dwell on such momentary lapses? We found the Mad King's trove, and that's all that matters. I like how it started raining the moment we mentioned specters. All jesting aside, we must tell people the good news, and I think Lise should be the first. Seconded. There is to be a meeting of the representatives from across Alamigo, so she is sure to be in the city. Shall we seek her out?
Well, we should have left somebody there to babysit the gold. Anyway.
Alphino didn't have his carbuncle with him.
Oh, that's true. But he doesn't use it all the time either.
What kind of a summoner is he?
I question that.
Exactly.
He fought something that made it go away, and he hasn't summoned it again, just like Zora.
That's getting charmed, okay? Or being charmed.
Oh, you three look pleased with yourselves. What have you been up to? I'm glad you asked, Lise. And I'm pretty sure you're going to like the answer. You're joking. The Mad King's Trove. I thought it was a myth. So did plenty of people. But they didn't have the Warrior of Light and Alpha Node in their party. The credit for finding it really should go for them. Really should go to them. As for what to do with it all, I vote I go towards alleviating the suffering of Alamigo's poor. Gods, if there's as much as you say. Our involved did not exaggerate, I assure you. We could not hope to carry even a fraction of it out on our own. I've taken the liberty of sketching out a rough map of the ruins. If you will assemble a squad of your most trusted freedom fighters, they should be able to follow the route to where the treasure lies. Understood. I'll make sure every coin is accounted for and that it goes for the spending of it as well. Thank you. Oh, there is one other thing. When the time comes to draw up a plan for distributing the spoils, I would ask that you consult Alpha Node. I don't have a head for details. I'm not educated. I see that simply handing out sacks of gil won't solve everything, but I couldn't rightly tell you what to do instead. Oh, I know the feeling. I'd welcome any advice you could give us, Alpha Node. Of course, I shall be at your disposal. Commander, we've got a problem. Deep breaths now. Tell me what happened. A mob's gathered outside headquarters, and they've started making demands. You'd best come see for yourself.
Step back, all of you!
Like hells we will! We know who you've got in there!
We're not leaving till you hand her over!
Bring her out! Bring her out!
What's going on? Someone let slip about Fedora.
It's true then! The bitch really is in there! I knew it! I bloody knew it! We demand vengeance! Bring her out! Today we butcher the butcher!
Butcher the... Come on, you don't mean that! We'd be no better than the Imperials if you'd all just calm down! Calm down! That monster and her thrice damned skulls dragged my man from our home and beat him to death in the street!
Aye! And my dad! That bitch has spilt enough blood to fill a lock!
We all know her crimes. She's a traitor and a murderer. How many of your resistance friends have died at her hands, eh? And here you are, protecting her!
So that's what all the fuss is about. Hearken to me, brothers and sisters of Alamigo.
Hey, who's this?
That's the Bull of Alamigo.
My friends, you are not alone in your anger, your grief, your despair, for it is mine as well. That gnawing pain in your breast, it is enough to bring an old bull to his knees. But I ask you, brothers and sisters, to think not only of the family and friends who were cut down before your very eyes, but to think also of the ones who were abducted, the ones who may yet live. Where were they taken? What became of them? These questions demand answers. I share your thirst for justice, for vengeance. But we will gain only fleeting satisfaction if we give in to our base appetites. We will never know the truth. Now is the time that we, the people of Alamigo, must decide what manner of nation we will build for ourselves, and for generations yet unborn. When they look to our example, will they see a people who held fast to their principles, or one who cast them aside when tried? I say to you, it is our responsibility to give these prisoners a fair trial, that they might answer to all of Alamigo. The Garleans called us savages, and I'll be damned if we prove them right.
I know you're right. I do. But I can't.
I feel like the pouring rain and thunder is probably not the best setting for that scene.
Me
Yeah.
too. Plus, it's a little dark. I mean, I was like, is there a bright button I need to turn my screen up to? 'Cause I can't see shit.
Oh, and last night they mentioned that one province was talking about rebellion against Garlemald.
Yeah.
They mentioned Dalmasca, and I
Yeah.
said that name was familiar, but I couldn't place where. Dalmasca is one of the primary cities in Final Fantasy XII. So, that's where that name comes from.
Okay.
I'm back.
Well, back. I would also recommend to Lise, if you're holding prisoners of war, maybe transfer them to Alliance custody.
Or
Yeah.
or to a military group that they don't
Yeah.
have to worry about it.
My thanks, Raban. Listening to their anger, I could feel myself being swept away. 'Tis a difficult time to stem. 'Twas that same rage which brought us to our feet and carried us to victory. But now the war is over, all that unspent fury is being channeled into vengeance. Aye, and it's not just here. We've reports of mobs forming all over. They've been targeting folk who were known to have folk known to have cooperated with the Guardians. It starts with insults most often, but someone always picks up a stone. Some industrious souls have thought to seek out the graves of Xenos and his officers. It was grim. I want to build a country where everyone, regardless of race or origin, can live side by side in peace. But maybe the time isn't right. Maybe people just aren't ready. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to try. The representatives will be here soon, and I'll be damned if I'm going to give up before I've even begun. Who are these representatives exactly? Oh, village elders, refugee leaders, and the like. It wouldn't be right for us to dictate the nation's future on our own. So we've planned a summit of sorts. We've even invited the Ananta and the Quirum to participate. The Kikirum. Alamigo stands at a crossroads, and this meeting will decide which path it takes. The matter of Fordola's sentence cannot be suffered to disrupt proceedings. Then let's execute her and be done with it. She herself asked to be put to death. Nago, I've already explained why we wouldn't do that. Sending her to the gallows might satisfy people right now, but where would it end? Should we round up everyone who collaborated? And everyone who didn't resist? There would be no one left, and we'd be no better than Theodoric or the Xenos. Begging your pardon, but might I be allowed to speak with Fordola? Only I caught a glimpse of her past. A moment of it, anyway, during the fight. She's done terrible things, aye. Unforgivable things. But in some ways, she's a victim of the circumstance in which she was born. And that's something I can understand. Alright. Speak with the prison guard when you're ready. And I'll come and join you. I want to talk to her, too. I'll return to my other duties, then. We've barely begun to investigate the facility where they gave Fordola her powers. Be fairly warned, friends. She will test you. Don't let your emotions color your judgment when she does. You have the commander's permission to enter, then?
Well, well, well. So many visitors. Come to have a good laugh, have you? Or do you mean to put me out of my misery? To finish what you started? It's about bloody time.
That's not why we're here, no. Do you remember what I said? How I promised you you'd live long enough to see us win our freedom? Well, I meant it. And not to mock you either.
You're wasting your time. of this is pointless. There's no reason to keep me alive, and you know it. I killed your men. I killed my men. And you know what my only regret is? That I didn't kill you when I had the chance!
That's a lie, and you know it. You think we can't tell what you're trying to do? That we're blind? Yeah, you're a fool, but you're not stupid. You're ruthless. Relentless. You'd give up anything and everything to get what you want. You didn't come this far, climbing over the bodies of your own brothers and sisters just to piss it all away. I see you, Fedora. I see you for what you are.
Come along, Fadola. We mustn't be late. The Imperial Viceroy will be attending today's banquet.
All right.
Father, what's Lord Gaius like? Is he nice? Are you friends?
There you go again with all your questions. Lord Gaius is a great and honourable man who looks after all of Alamigo. He's very busy, and if we don't hurry, we'll miss our chance to see him.
Filthy tin-head lovers.
Father, what did that man call us?
The little tin-head lover doesn't know what she is, eh? A traitor, sweetheart. A backstabbing bitch who'd gladly betray her kith and kin to gnaw on what few scraps the Imperials deign to toss her. Like your bastard father and whore mother.
That's not true! My parents are good people! They've never done anything like that!
Oh, but they were quick to help themselves and their bitch spawn, weren't they? You're just as guilty as them.
Fadola!
Traitors!
Please, you have to do something. My husband and daughter are in danger.
Soldiers of the Imperial Army are under no obligation to intervene in the disputes of arms.
We're citizens. We have rights.
Ah!
I'm scared.
It's all right. It's all right. They don't understand, but they'll see in time. They'll see that this is the only way to survive. Traitors! Traitors!
Let the savages have their fun. They'll be more compliant once they've tired themselves out.
Fadola, please! You already have citizenship. Why would you want to become a soldier? Oh, gods! What have you done to your face?
Forgotten it already, have you? I'm honoring Father's memory.
By telling the world that you know better than a common savage.
Am I though, Mother? Are any of us? Can't you see? Citizenship means nothing to them. If you're not a pure-blood Garlean, you're no different from any other savage. So I'll play the part. I'll join the Legion and I'll make them respect me. And when the mob see that, they'll think twice before throwing their stones. Ansfrid, Rudolph, Emlyn. It's time. It'll be hard. Humiliating. They'll try to break us. Send us crawling back to our own kind. But we won't, no matter what. We'll bleed for them, die for them if we have to. We'll do whatever it takes to be free!
So, you mean to play the part one last time, eh? The unrepentant traitor whose death will serve to unite the people?
Shut up.
You had every chance to kill yourself. Fashion a noose from your clothes. Wait for the guards to leave you alone long enough to slip it over your neck.
I said shut up!
Oh, but then it would have all been for nothing, wouldn't it? Whatever it takes. That's what you said.
Been in my head, have you? Had a little peek at my past? And what? A few stolen memories tell you everything you need to know, do they? Don't you dare patronize me! You don't know a god's damned thing about the life I've led! The bastards that killed him. The bastards that let it happen. My father deserved better! I swore I'd do whatever it took to make them pay! You. All that power. All that pain. It's too much. Too much for anyone. The things they've done to you. The lies. The betrayal. The endless fighting. Yet there you stand. Unbroken. How? Why? Damn you. Damn you all.
You still have time, Fordola. Think about how you want to spend it. Let's go.
Okay, what everybody choose on the response?
I went with the first one.
Third.
I'm in the middle. What'd she say on yours?
Middle.
Damn you all.
Damn you all.
Same.
Okay, so it's the same. I chose the same as Zora did, the middle.
I don't know that we solved anything exactly, but we've given Fordola something to think about at least. Aye. And I found something new to think about too. I don't know about you, but the visions only come to me every now and then. For the way Fordola kept wincing, though, I get the feeling she's having them almost all the time. That's a lot of bad memories to deal with. I wonder, could there be some fundamental difference between one who is born with the Echo and one who has been artificially imbued with it? Well, the Immortal Flames have been scouring that research facility ever since the liberation. There's a chance they may have some answers for us. General Alden's there overseeing the investigation. Let's go pay him a visit, shall we? General Alden's inside, aye. Will you be joining him? What news? You spoke with Fordola, I take it. Yes, as expected, she didn't say very much. But it wasn't a total waste of time. Arnvald noticed something odd about her. He thinks that she might be having visions almost constantly, which is not how the Echo normally works. Have you found anything in here which might explain why it's so different for her? We've been hard-pressed just to organize the research materials, let alone study them. To be frank, I'd welcome the Scion's expert assistance if you have the time to lend a hand. Somebody better summon Urianger. He's the only one who's going to be able to make sense out of this mess. So many bodies. Every one of them a victim of these experiments. Few show any signs of external injury, from which we've been able to determine. They perished from forcible aether extraction. Such a miserable way to die. The device in which Kryl was held seems to even more ominous now you know its purpose. The surrounding pods are marked Supply Subject, while this one bears the label Master Subject. The Ironworks received a request from the Alliance to analyze these devices, and I've been recording everything of interest. Did you notice the labeling? All the pods are designed to drain the aether of the occupant, save that one right there. Unlike the others, the interior's been fitted with an array of sensors to measure etheric waveforms. To what purpose, however, I couldn't tell you. I know little and less of science, so any light you can shed on the facility's operations would be much appreciated. Shall we start with you? Taken in combinations with the testimonies of Kryl and Thancred, I do begin to see exactly what the Imperials were attempting here. The enhancement procedure entailed infusing a single candidate with aether siphoned from a multitude of supply subjects. As for the master subject, in this case Kryle, the patterns of her etheric activity would provide the model upon which they would artificially engineer the candidate's aura. In other words, they were trying to recreate Kryle's echo? I believe so, which would explain our prisoner's present state. Kryle is possessed of an unrivaled ability to hear the whispers of the soul, and it would seem probable that the procedure engendered the same acute sensitivity in Fordola. The soldiers who guard Fordola, many of them lost friends and family to the skulls. And there's a sentry at her door night and day. If she can't help sensing their thoughts, seeing their past. But you don't just see their past, you live it. All the emotions, all the pain. Imagine what it'd do to you. You'd never be the same again. Indeed, as you may recall, Isael was completely transformed by a single glimpse of Racevelger's past. Fordola has been forced to experience the agony of those whose lives she destroyed. The guilt must be unbearable. Well, that explains her excuse to be executed. Sounds to me like a kind of justice. Regardless, she can suffer on for now. We have more pressing matters to consider. If the results of these experiments have been relayed back to Garlemald, there will be naught to stop the Empire from repeating the trick. They could give the echo to anyone, to an entire legion. We must be ready. We must learn all we can of these God's-forsaken procedures, and Fordola remains our best source of information. She'll not be getting her wish. Not yet. Keep faith, lass. If you're to convince others to follow you, you must not believe what you're telling them. You must believe what you're telling them. People will respond to passion, but not if it's feigned. I understand. Thank you, Jim. We should leave the flames to it. Let's go. I go looking for answers about the Echo and end up getting schooled by Raban. Yet more evidence that I don't know what I'm doing. It's no wonder people listen to him and not me. General Alden is a veteran of countless campaigns, Lise. You cannot compare yourself to a commander of his expertise. Or experience. I know. But I also know that I couldn't have convinced that mob to give up and go home. It makes me realize how much we rely on his authority, and how much I still have to learn. I wonder what he'll do when everything here is settled. I mean, it's his homeland. After going to the trouble of winning it back, might he not want to stay? There's a quandary which countless refugees now face. To continue the life they built in Ul'dah, or start again in the land of their birth. Yeah, Pippin, what you got? I'm newly returned from Ul'dah with a message from the Sultana. Her Grace desires an audience with you. She understands that you have responsibilities here, but asks that you visit the palace at your earliest convenience. Well, I must away and attend to other business. Until next time, my friends. An audience with the Sultana. Depending on the nature of her consultation, this might be the perfect opportunity to inquire about the General's future plans. Yes, we'd all like to know about those, Alphanode. But not everyone's as comfortable interrogating royalty as you. Take no notice of him. Well, the question of how to put the Mad King's treasures to good use shows no sign of answering itself. Shall we be about it, Arnvald? I am at your beck and call. And I should be getting back to my own tasks. I'll organize a squad to head down into the ruins. And then start preparing for the big meeting. Oh, and send Nanamo my regards. And ours too, if you please. We shall see you on our return. Ul'dah is my free one, so.
Chamber of Rule, correct?
Yep. I need an emote for smacking somebody in the back of the head so that every time I run past the head paladin over there, I can smack him in the back of the head.
Well, I think you just smack.
I do like how your carbuncle actually shows up on the map, Sora.
So we know where he is at all times.
My lord, it was an honor to face you in the tournament. Oh, this is from my class quest, is why he's saying this. Since that day, I have spent by every moment in the practice yard, striving to attain some fraction of your skill with the blade. Ah, forgive me, you are here with your audience with the Sultana. Please proceed. My class quest for Stormblood was a tournament, and I had to fight him as one of the guys.
I thank you for answering my summons in these most interesting times. You have been busy. The liberation of Alamigo will have far-reaching consequences, and there is a matter upon which I would seek your counsel. I speak of Raubarn and his future. All know the tale of his rise from penniless refugee to member of the Syndicate and General of the Immortal Flames. Yet though he has come to call Uldar home, it will never be his homeland. He is a son of Alamigo. And now that she is free, I thought it only a matter of time before he sought my leave to return to her. Indeed, I had resigned myself to his loss. Suffice it to say, I was greatly surprised to hear him speak so lightly of handing over the reins in Alamigo and retaking his place at my side. I will welcome him with open arms, of course. He is my most trusted advisor and my dearest friend. But I have known the man a long time, and beneath that steely gaze, I spied a flicker of doubt. Whether Raubarn chooses to remain in Uldar or return to Alamigo, I only wish that he do so with a heart unburdened by guilt or regret. Yet, how can he freely make such a choice, knowing how much I depend on him? It is past time that I learned to discharge my duties as a sultana alone. I must go forth and see my realm with my own eyes, and hear the wind with my own ears. Might I have your company for a brief adventure? Wonderful. Allow me a moment to change into something a touch less conspicuous, and I will join you outside.
She better have a Christmas suit on, outfit.
I just loved the look on my face when she said it. It's like, oh god, this is a bad idea.
Babysitting time. How many animes ended in failure and that stuff, huh? Royalty goes missing. Where are we going to? I forgot.
The Adventurers Guild.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, she looks pretty basic.
What's her name taught to her? The Scion's little girl?
Well, last I saw, Tartaru was still in the Far East. But
Yeah,
who
but
knows?
she had a pink outfit like this too, didn't she?
Maybe.
No. hers
Well,
has
other
been
than the
different.
headband thing or the.
No, hers have been different.
I think Zora might have this same outfit, or at least something very similar to it.
Possibly.
Perchance you remember Lyra, the merchant's daughter. This is the persona I assume when I venture beyond the palace walls to observe my subjects unnoticed. Ordinarily, Papashan would accompany me, but for this particular outing, I need an advisor, not a minder. And that is why I requested your company. Over the course of your many adventures, you have met people from all walks of life, in every corner of Eorzea. I would make use of your worldly experience. Now, let's be on our way. Our first destination is Stone's Throw, just beyond the Gate of Nald.
Stone's Throw? Oh, or Stone's Throw away. Okay, got you.
Well, no, I believe Stone's Throw is actually the name of it.
Really?
I think it's the place up here where the bar we've had to go to on multiple occasions is.
Now we're out here. Hold on. It seems a little damn hot.
Or not. Apparently it's these tents over here. Look upon this procession of tattered tents. These refugees camp in squalor at the mercy of the elements and Thanalan's predators both. The city's mighty walls offer safety, but the streets overflow with people as it is. And unless blessed by the hand of Nald himself, no refugee could ever hope to afford a dwelling in Ul'dah. 20 years have passed since the fall of Alamigo, and 5 since the calamity. Yet the plight of the poor has grown more desperate, not less. As Sultana, the blame falls upon me. I'm going with option number 2.
Yeah.
Yes, my authority is limited, and that is an obstacle I must work to overcome. Shall we press on? I would follow the road to the unholy air.
Zora got in me before I did.
Oh, and this is necessary.
What? Why? What did he
I
do?
remember when we had to kill the turtle because we aggroed it.
And I seem to remember it killed me. So, vengeance has been got.
Poor guy. He didn't do anything to deserve that.
Yes, he did.
Can't you forgive? Aren't we talking about that?
Well, it's not like he's Hogger from WoW. I'm not going to have to kill him every time I see him.
Oh,
Or
you
every
hold
time.
that over.
Or every time I think about him.
You hold that over the poor little fish folk, Murlocs.
Well, yes, absolutely. Nothing will ever stop that. The Murlocs must die.
This anger will always continue. It'll never go away.
The only reason I don't hunt Hogger anymore is they moved him into the dungeon, so it's harder to get to him.
Or a pain in the butt.
It was here, in this wholly unremarkable place, that my mother and father met their doom. I was but a child at the time. My parents were returning from an inspection of our interests in Eastern Thanalan when an untimely rock slide crushed their carriage. To this day, it is not certain if the incident was simple misfortune or an expertly planned assassination. Raban once offered to reopen the investigation and bring me the truth he assumed I must surely crave, but I refused. Even if my parents' deaths were orchestrated by the Monetarists, we could only have brought their hirelings to justice. The true villains, those who plotted to put me on the throne as a biddable puppet, were ever beyond our reach. Thus did I plan to strip the merchants of their power and place our nation in the hands of its citizens, quite unaware of the consequences my actions would have had for you and yours. I shudder to think how many goodly souls paid the price for my naivety. But I am no longer a child reciting words with witless obedience, and I will not be used as a pawn in the Monetarists' damnable games. Forgive me my outburst. You are one of the few people to whom I feel I can speak my mind. Come, let us return to Ul'dah and visit the Colosseum. But yeah, for years, anytime I happened to pass through Elwyn Forest, I would go to where Hogger is and kill him several times. Sometimes I would stand around and wait for Lobies to come by and need to kill him, and wait until they tagged him and then one-shot him for them. But most of the time I just killed him myself.
Coliseum, right?
You should, Zora, you should have a teleport off to the side.
Coliseum's right next to Gladiators Guild, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just running it because it's a short trip, but yes.
Yeah, well, I got short legs. And because I haven't upgraded my Gladiator very often, and like, don't know this area that well anymore.
From the moment I became Sultana, I found myself thrust into an endless parade of document signings and ceremonies. For years, I simply signed where I was told to sign and sat where I was told to sit, blissfully oblivious to what any of it meant. Yet one good thing did come from that ignominious chapter of my life, for it was during an official visit to the Colosseum that I first met Raban. The match I had been invited to attend was not at all what I expected. They had pitted the Bull of Alamigo against some dozen or so rival gladiators. Blinkered though I was, I would not stand for so obvious an injustice, and demanded to see a fair fight, one man against another, and my royal wish was duly granted. It was not until later that I learned of the gambling ring which had arranged for Raban to die on the sands that day. Regardless, my intervention meant that Raban had but a single opponent to dispatch, which he duly did, and when he knelt before me to receive the winner's purse, he swore that he would one day offer me his blade in service. Surrounded as I was by liars and manipulators, I confess I dismissed it as a pleasant piece of theater. But, as you know, Raban is a man of his word. Though it took him another 5 years of fighting on the blood sands, he amassed a fortune so great as to buy not only his freedom, but a seat on the syndicate. And then I had my blade.
Your Grace, you mustn't! The danger is too great! Please, Your Grace, come back! I beg of you!
It seems you're the one who needs looking after, Master Sham. Raban!
Your Grace, I have kept the promise made.
So you have, and in turn, so too shall I keep mine. With your winnings, you have become one of the 6 most wealthy souls in all Uldar, and so, as tradition dictates, Rauben Aldin, you have earned yourself a seat on the Syndicate. May your new station garner you still greater glories.
I am honored, Your Grace, and vow to serve with every fiber of my being from this day till my last. Long live the Sultana, and long live Uldar!
I would just like it noted that Raban had to have killed a lot of dudes to earn that kind of money.
Yeah.
Words cannot well express what that man means to me. There are others who care deeply for my well-being, of course. Papa Shan's love for me is that of a grandsire for his grandchild. But upon matters of governance, I cannot turn to bodyguards and maidservants for counsel. Raban, with the authority of his syndicate position, was the first sword I could wield. His was the only edge which could cut the strings that bound me. We must make haste. My absence will not go unnoticed by the Sultan's swarm for long. And there are some places I would visit. To the Arzaneth Ossuary. Technically, I'm a member of the Sultan's Sworn, so it doesn't matter if they notice you're gone. Although I guess it's also possible that I was denied entry into the Sultan's Sworn because I'm not sworn to Ul'dah or something. Because the other paladins do like to call me a free paladin. So, yeah. Usually after I've had to, nearly kill half a dozen of them. When the calamity threatened, Raban led the Alliance forces into battle on the plains of Cartano, and I remained here. I prayed with all my heart that Archon Luishwa would have the power to rouse the 12. Since that day, I have made a custom of visiting this shrine during each of my little excursions. Here, I seek the blessing of Thal, reflect upon my choices, and ask myself if I am fulfilling my duties as Sultana. You are rightly celebrated as a champion because you have led the line in 100 battles for the good of Eorzea. In much the same way, I believe the measure of a monarch lies in how she leads her people in times of adversity. If I am to be a sultana worthy of the name, I cannot turn a blind eye to the troubles facing Ul'dah. I have chosen my path. With Ala Mhigo now freed of imperial chains, I finally see a way to aid the refugees. Already, many displaced Ala Mhigans seek to begin the long trek home. To facilitate that process, I have made a small contribution, an artisan's school in Rhalgr's Reach, for any who wish to learn new trades. Realistically, however, it will take years for such training to yield tangible benefits. But we do not have years. These people will need shelter and employment if they are to survive. At this time, the Ul'dah treasury shall provide. Precisely where and how to allocate the necessary funds is, of course, another question. I don't trust any of the members of the syndicate.
Right.
I guess I'll go with option 2. A wise suggestion. Mayhap a visit to the Gold Saucer is in order. Its proprietor is a member of the syndicate, and he is one of the few who pay refugees a fair wage. I wonder, are you acquainted with Godbert Manderville? Yes. Yes, I am.
No.
Then I need not explain his eccentric nature. Let us make our way to the landing, and I will see that word is sent to the Golden Saucer. Godbert should be only too glad to receive us. Will he be wearing pants, Zora?
Hopefully.
Okay. I have ridden aboard a public airship before, but this shall be my first visit to the Gold Saucer. I must confess to some excitement.
I'm gonna show her where she can go get her lottery tickets and
Get the big jackpot. Oh, did I do the wrong one?
You don't need to actually go anywhere, Zora. She's just right out here in the main room. So if you teleport back to the entrance and card squares, you'll be right where you need to be.
Wait, where? What?
Just follow the hallway, KJ. You don't need to go anywhere.
Okay. Oh, there you guys are. Where'd you disappear to? Zora?
Yeah.
You were standing next to me.
I think because we were talking about the cackpot, Zora might have gone to the cackpot.
I wanted to play games.
I had heard descriptions of its splendor, yet I had never dreamed it would be so bright and inviting. No, I couldn't possibly. We did not come here to fritter away the royal coin. Godbert will be expecting us. Come, let us head directly to the lounge and ignore these gaudy temptations.
Well, we could actually give it some. But whatever.
Somebody just put some kind of barrier on me, and I don't know what it does.
yeah, I thought.
I guess we got to get upstairs.
Oh, did you not see us take the squirter, the water thing?
I didn't realize you could ride those.
Yeah, you jump in the middle of it, it shoots you up to the top.
I believe this is where we will meet Lord Manderville. Shall we sit while we await his coming? My apologies, Your Grace. I have kept you waiting. No apologies are necessary, Godbert. My request was sudden, and you were kind to make yourself available at such short notice. Oh, when my son's good friend and the Sultana herself come calling, there is no more important engagement. As to the purpose of my visit, I would have your thoughts on how the Crown might best aid the refugees residing in Thonalon. You are aware, I am sure, that many of Alamigo's displaced sons and daughters long to return to their newly liberated homeland. And you are also aware of how they will suffer without shelter and work to sustain them. I would use our nation's wealth to spare them that suffering. What advice have you for me on the matter of how it might best be distributed? The unusual circumstances of our meeting, and your Grace's choice of companion, would suggest to me a desire for an honest and unvarnished opinion. I shall give you one. My advice to you is stop. Taxing Ulda's wealth to save Alamigan refugees is a terrible, terrible idea. You oppose my proposition? Most emphatically. I agree with your Grace that the refugees must have housing and employment. But what profit is there for Ulda in this arrangement? Profit? After all you have done for Girabanya's displaced, I thought you the very last person to seek to benefit from their misfortune. Forgive me, your Grace, but you appear to be laboring under a misapprehension. It is a fine endeavor to support one's fellow man. I fear, however, that your stance is one born of pity. Your intent is to save the refugees, is it not? For all our potential, we are indolent creatures by nature. If unconditional charity is all we know, then we begin to rely upon it, to expect it. And then we must consider Ulda's own poor and downtrodden. Should they hear of you spending the nation's coin, not to improve their lot, but to nurture the distant citizens of Alamigo, it is unlikely they will applaud your generosity. Surely it is not your Grace's intention to foster new resentments, but to spread goodwill. Indeed. Then any support I pledge to the refugees must promote self-sufficiency, whilst also serving the interest of the people of Ulda. Exactly so. Such an arrangement will create far more equitable relationship with the returning Alamegans, even as it generates the revenue required to win the approval of your subjects. You have given me much to ponder, Lord Manderville. I thank you for your candor.
She could make airships and start cruises up there, back and forth, buses, if you will, or train. So they don't have to take such a long trek, whatnot.
Profit. The thought never even crossed my mind. But standing about lamenting my naivety will not do anyone any good. I shall consider my lesson learned and press on. Are you perchance acquainted with any successful merchants? If my attempt at philanthropy is obliged to reap a profit, it would seem wise to consult someone with a knack for business. Ordinarily, I would not trust any agent of the East Alanard Trading Company, but if you hold this Hancock fellow in high esteem, I am content to be led by you. You may repay my faith by journeying to distant Kugane and speaking with him on my behalf. Eager though I am to visit those shores, I have not the leisure for a lengthy sea voyage. Now, assuming you will travel as adventurers are wont to do, I shall await your report by the Aetherite in Ulda. A fair journey to you, and a swift one, if you please.
Where are we going?
Kugane.
hold on, my thing wore off. Wow, that's still 949. Are you kidding me? They weren't joking. Things are going to be expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And that's at half price. Well, almost half price.
Just wait until we start getting to Shadowbringers or Endwalker areas.
We got to be making a lot more gold back. Bleh. Yeah. Yeah, where is this?
Ruby Bazaar.
Yeah, good thing I almost went to the first one.
Is this the right person?
No,
we
Sorry.
just go through the door. Yeah.
Email sending us on sidetracks.
No, I just saw it and I was like wondering about it, and then I got sucked into it. Sorry.
No problem. I thought we had to talk to a guard to get inside, so I was like, oh, that guy could be it, but no, it's this guy. To what do I owe the pleasure? Or are you here on business? I beg your pardon. Her Grace the Sultana would have my opinion on how best to invest the wealth of Ul'dah? My dear, I have you to thank for this recognition, I am sure, and I am flattered that you came to me, truly flattered. But why settle for a lowly apprentice, when you could have the master? Upon matters of profit, there is no living soul better qualified to advise Her Grace than Chairman Lolorito, a man whose morning exertions are said to fill his garter-robe with gold. I should be happy to arrange a meeting for you, say at the Scion's former headquarters in Thanalan. The Waking Sands would seem a suitable neutral venue for negotiations, don't you think? Fare you well, and may your dealings prove fruitful. If I wanted to talk to Lolorito, I just would have walked up to him.
I know. That's my opinion too. I'm like, no, I don't want that dude.
We don't trust that bastard anyway.
Although I can't really blame Hancock. Lolorito would probably fire him if he found out he was giving away advice like that.
Oh well, where we gotta go?
Probably.
I'm gonna go see what this guy wants.
Where did he want you?
Oh, I just clicked through it really fast. I have one Venture Bay ticket that I can use. Vesper Bay.
Vesper Bay.
Yeah, we gotta go back to Ul'dah itself, though.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta talk to her. That's right.
Are we not taking that quest?
I picked it up. I'm assuming it does.
Oh, okay. I'll pick it up too then. Y'all keep on picking up quests and then you like turn stuff in and I'm not close.
This unlocks a dungeon.
I wonder if the Sultana will be like, really? Really?
How come? There we go.
Is
We're
it the
going to
same
Ul'dah,
amount?
right?
Yeah. How much is it to go there?
It should be the same amount as traveling to Kugane, but I imagine this is KJ's free teleport. I know it's mine.
No. Mine changed to Foundation.
Ah.
So if we need a free Foundation jump, I can go there too. I don't think she's going to be happy.
Welcome back. Did your merchant friend have any useful advice to share? No, he did not. With Lolorito? And you agreed to this? I'm well aware of his standing in the field of business, but I had hoped to keep the Monetarists at arm's length, and him in particular. Nay, I cannot live in fear of the man. I must learn how to treat with him if I am to rule Ul'dah effectively. Very well, I will meet with Lolarito. Let us go on ahead to the Waking Sands and prepare for his coming.
Did you see her very well thing? That stat she had? I was like, very well.
Well, it teleported us straight to the Waking Sands, which is nice. So this is where the Scions first congregated. I have heard many tales, but never had an occasion to visit. To work then. The hour of the meeting draws near, and I would gather my thoughts. Pray see to it that we have the appointed room to ourselves.
A personal summons from the Scions. This must be important business indeed. Though, if it concerns anything so underhand as an assassination, I fear I can be of little help.
Had to do quite a jump to get into that chair.
Mm-hmm.
You have made your point. 'Tis indeed unsettling to find oneself seated across from an impassive mask. There, would this better please your grace? Or should I address you as Lady Lilira? Hmm?
Nay, the deception has served its purpose. I'm glad to see you found amusement in my little jest, Lord Lolarito, but shall we proceed to the business at hand?
By all means. I must say I am most eager to hear your proposal.
Simply put, I would aid the refugees camped in Thanalan in their efforts to return to Alamigo. The reparations you paid in the wake of your earlier misdemeanors will be used to fund the endeavor, together with the fortune seized from the late Teleji Adeleji's estate. But this plan is not intended to benefit the displaced alone. I would make of this an investment which shall enrich Uldar and Alamigo both. And who better to consult on matters of profit than the wealthiest man in all of Thanalan? I beseech you then, Lord Lolarito, share with us your mercantile wisdom.
Ah, 'twould seem your grace has matured beyond acts of earnest yet misplaced charity. Pray tell me more. To summarize, in return for facilitating the repatriation of refugees and assisting in the establishment of new industry in Alamigo, you ask that a proportion of all subsequent
aren't chairs,
profits
they're
be
benches.
promised to Uldar. Ha! I am impressed, Your Grace. 'Tis an elegant solution, albeit one lacking certain crucial details, specifically which industry and where.
How swiftly you identified the weakness in my plan, just as I knew you would. Your travels have taken you across the length and breadth of Gir Abania, and you know the land far better than I. Which of the settlements you visited would best provide a home for our refugees? Which has the greatest potential to flourish, given the appropriate investment?
I have no idea how to answer this question.
I know, I don't feel
None either.
familiar enough in remembering the names of the areas.
I say pick the Saltery.
Ah, yes, that desolate little village on the shore of Loch Seld. I know the Saltery and its products well. The Imperial invasion brought an end to their more widespread distribution, much to the dismay of many a wealthy gourmand, myself included. Salt has ever been a transformative ingredient, and in this instance, I dare say, it could transform a modicum of effort into a mountain of gill.
The local citizens will need to be consulted, of course, but I trust the East Aldenard Trading Company can be relied upon to provide its assistance in negotiating a mutually beneficial arrangement.
Naturally, Your Grace. I shall dispatch representatives well versed in the extraction of this white gold and wring every last ons of profit from its production. The Loch's bounty will contribute to Alamigo's enrichment, whilst easing the burden on the bull's aching shoulders, just as Your Grace desired.
A deal is struck, then.
Are y'all done with the cutscene?
Yes.
It looks like it.
Okay. I fear it will be many years before I feel comfortable taking part in such negotiations. But I shall not complain. We have piqued Lord Lonorito's interest and secured his invaluable expertise. Thank you. I could not have done this without you. Our course is decided. I shall return to the palace and have my ministers begin work on implementing the particulars of the plan. If I could prevail upon you one more time, I would ask that you convey the details of our negotiations to Commander Hext and on your return to Alamigo. My thanks again. Together we have laid the groundwork for an endeavor which promises to benefit the peoples of Alamigo and Ul'dah both. And if you note the name of this quest, you will see why I picked the Saltery.
Aha!
So I imagine whichever of the other two you picked, Lonorito would correct you and say, no, the Saltery is the best.
So where we gotta go?
Back to the Alamigan Quarter.
But my free teleport used to be Ul'dah, but then when you said it was yours, that's when I changed mine to.
Ah, gotcha.
Foundation.
You're back. What did Nanama... Oh, sorry. Are you allowed to talk about your audience with the Sultana? So Raban says he's going back to Ul'dah, but she isn't sure he wants to. Tell us something we don't know. But I'm pleased to hear she's committed to helping our refugees come home. And this plan to revitalize the Saltery does make a lot of sense. Quite how you convinced her to seek Lonorito's help is another question. After all that has happened, he is the very last person I would expect her to turn to for advice. But, on a more practical note, Lise, assuming the interim government elects to accept Dulda's proposal, I have one caveat I should like you to include in the bargain. Alamigo must be permitted to cover a portion of the investment. We have a fortune at our disposal, after all, and allowing Ul'dah to provide the entirety of the capital will afford Lalarito too much control. Honestly, Alpha Node, it's like Kugane never happened. What exactly does a ruthless profiteer have to do to earn your trust? But yes, you do make a good point. First things first, though. We need to discuss this proposal with the Saltery's residents. Whisker, how do you fancy explaining the Sultana's plan to your grandfather? I'd like to hear what Watt thinks of this idea before agreeing to anything. Right away, Commander. Would you mind coming along? I might need you to fill in the details. And I shall come as well. Should Watt wish to discuss figures, my knowledge of the nation's finances may prove useful. What manner of mischief brings you youngins to old Watt this time? They want to rebuild the Saltery, Granddad. Tell him about the deal. Well, bucker me. We've never had the coin or the hands to put the place back to how it was. But it sounds like that's about to change. Just one small wrinkle in your plan. It doesn't account for all the nasties queuing up to eat anyone who goes near the shore. The king used to send soldiers to cull the buggers, but the Imperials weren't about to help the like of us. Don't worry, Granddad, we'll take care of that. Commander Hext has been talking about starting up regular patrols, and I'm sure she'd assign me to the lock if I asked. I'd appreciate that, Whisker, my lad. Truly I would. So does this mean you've gotten better with that blade of yours? I've been training, aye, but mostly to kill Imperials. You've some experience hunting monsters, don't you? Think you could cast an eye over a few of the local beasties and teach me how to deal with them? Let's not waste any time then. I'll see you at the lock. Whilst you are busy attending to the local fauna, I shall have Master Watt explain to me exactly what is required to restore the Saltery to its former glory. Good hunting.
Did Alpha just get out of a fight again?
Of course. He's more of a scholarly.
It's starting to become more openly, I can recognize it now.
Right then. I've got a spyglass here, and you can use to take a closer look at those pests. Once you've got their measure, you can tell me what to do, and we'll see how well we'll see how well I get on. Search your surrounding for yabbies. You may move the camera as well as zoom in and zoom out. Target a yabby and inspect it with the mouse click.
Oh, okay. You're left clicking, trying to find its weak point.
Yeah, which I have not found yet.
The jaw.
Or
the
jaw.
mouth, yeah. And then you just left click.
Ah. The Yabby's entire body is protected by a hard carapace, but the underside of its head looks soft and vulnerable. Oh, looks like you found a Yabby. They say hitting their shells like smacking a rock. Any suggestion? Aim for the soft underside of the head. Vulnerable under the head, are they? Right then. Wish me luck.
I guess I should just write me a book that says how to dispatch. Sell that.
Thanks. Just as you told me, and the wavekin went down like a sack of potatoes. Let's find something else. Yes, I know that wasn't potatoes, but I wasn't going to try to figure out how they were going to pronounce that. Howdy, Ariel. How are you doing this evening?
Did I do that? I did. My stupid speed. Oh, you guys turned around and fought it. Ugh. Kicked on my speed, sorry.
Well, I didn't stop because I figured you guys would kill it too fast for me to even bother. I'm doing all right.
Screw that.
All of us trying to jump over that.
Well, it's funny is watching me try. I can't even get up to my head.
I think I can handle the Yabbies now. So, should we try something different? What else is out there? Search your surrounding for phobos.
Great.
Eyeball.
Yep. Of course.
Go for the eyes.
It's always go for the eyes. With the dragon. Go for the eye.
The Phobad's hands are large and powerful, but destroying its crystallized core should render the salt golem inanimate. You sense power pulsating from behind its brow. Ugh, Phobad. How do you defeat one of those? I like that the second option is just hit it really hard. But no, destroy the core.
As hard as you can.
Inside its head, is it? I'll try to stab it right between the eyes then. I would recommend going for the eyes themselves, since they're kind of, holes into the head. But,
Yeah. You might have a rough one.
Oh, that's funny. I'm watching one of those things while I'm waiting for you guys, and he takes his hands and looks like he scoops up some of the sand and rubs it on his head.
it's not easy. It's not easy. Fighting with the liver of Alamigo watching your every move. But I got the job done. Thanks for the advice. I feel a lot better prepared for my patrols now. Any road, we should head back to the Saltery before Granddad starts to worry I've been snipped into pieces and fed to Yabby's hatchlings. I see you've returned in one piece. Dealt with those beasties then, did you? Aye, fought them myself, after a bit of instruction from the Warrior of Light here. Like, well, once I've shared what I've learned with the others, we should have no trouble keeping the shoreline clear. Good lad. A fine young man you've become, Whisker. A fine young man indeed. Too often of late I hear tales of folk over the cities, drunk on victory and hungry for revenge, their heads stuck firmly in the past. But we need to set our sights on the future, on things which will improve our lot. Things like getting the Saltery ready to welcome our long-lost countrymen. It seems Whisker has the Saltery's security well in hand. I, meanwhile, have discussed the next steps with Master Watt and completed my inspection of the site. With a little work, the vacant buildings here could be made into presentable dwellings. Message from General Alden. Apologies for the interruption, sir, but the General would speak with you at your earliest convenience. Do not feel obliged to wait around on my account. I will remain here to hammer out the finer details with Watt and act as an intermediary with our business partners in Ul'dah. You should go. General Aldrin asked that you wait for him by the main gate in the Alamegan Quarter. My apologies again, sir. Fare you well.
I like that one guy in the cutscene and out here just trying to keep that box held up.
Mm-hmm.
It's heavy. Like you click on something other than a person.
Apologies for the wait. People are screaming for the butcher's blood again. No sooner have we broken up one mob than another forms. Thankfully, all have been amenable to reason, thus far. But it is no concern of yours. We must speak of the men Arenvald and his comrades apprehended in the peaks.
By their uniforms, the captives were first judged to be Imperial troops. But after further investigation, their true identities came to light. I dare say you remember Yuyuhasi and Laurentius, the fugitives who conspired with Captain Ilberd in the Crystal Brave's betrayal. Aye, well, it would seem they followed him all the way to the wall. It was they who orchestrated the slaughter of the resistance fighters prior to the Griffin's infernal ritual.
Were it in your hands, how would you punish these men? Hear, hear. There is no more fitting sentence for the perpetrators of such a massacre, and that is but one of their crimes. In any event, I thank you for your honesty. When the time comes for the Alliance to pass judgment, I'll see that your opinion is heard. Well, that concludes our business here. But there is more I would say. Walk with me. I bear a share of the blame for Ilberd's atrocities. Had I openly supported the cause of Alamegan liberation, he might not have felt driven to do what he did. Things could have been different, and I'm sorry they aren't. But even after all that has happened, my homeland is free. With the Scions and the Alliance at their side, my countrymen have reclaimed what many thought lost forever. Under her new leadership, I have every confidence that Alamigo will emerge from the shadow of the Empire and rise once more to greatness. Which means my work here is done. Soon I will return to Uldar and take my place at the Sultana's side.
Father...
I'll not deny there's a part of me that wants to stay. The same part that contemplated renouncing my rank and joining you as a wandering sellsword. But I pledged my blade to Nanamo, and I will not betray that oath.
Is this truly what you want, Father?
It is. Ever has my sword been hers to command, and ever shall it remain. Thank you for lending an ear. When all the rest are clamoring for me to stay, I trust you'll send me on my way.
Yeah, daytime all of a sudden.
Indeed, it is. I suspect that cutscene is always nighttime.
Yeah.
And now it's raining again. Sure does rain a lot in this desert.
I'm back.
Welcome back. I called for their heads, just so you know.
Did they say? We say.
Raban basically said he agreed and he would, when the Alliance came to discuss what should happen to them, they would hear my opinions.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's the same reply I got, but I said no. And the reason is they're going to execute all these perfectly good slaves, or workers. Put them in chains and put them in the caves, and they can be working right along with everybody else.
Yeah, I don't want Laurentis being in any position to betray us again.
Well, he would be separate. I mean, take the leader out of it, but there was still troops in there, you know. Wait, Laurentis was the Griffin's second-hand man, right?
Laurentis was the old wood whaler in Gridania who betrayed the Gridanians to Garlemald. We caught him. He tried to kill us. We beat him up. The wood whalers took him in, and then we had them release him to serve the Crystal Braves, where he betrayed us again to serve Ilberd.
Oh yeah, okay.
So.
That guy needs to be taken care of. I mean, yeah.
And the other one was the Lalafell commander of the 3rd Regiment or something, who all he could do was talk about how much money he wanted to make. So.
Well, I thought there was still quite a few men of there with them, though. I mean, that's still a pretty good sized labor force.
I wouldn't imagine there would be very many, since they were in charge of making sure as many people died as possible at the wall. I mean, they're the ones who led the attack on their own country, or their own fellow comrades, just to make sure enough people died. So, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But I'm not trying to convince y'all that you should have called for their deaths. I'm just telling you why I did it. So.
He was the one on the cutscene that was talking to himself about the wood whaler guy, about it's for the better, it's for the good, it's all that stuff.
Yeah. That took longer than I intended, but at least you know where I stand. Now that's settled. Arnvald, what news? We may have a problem, sir. A group of Ananta have arrived at the main gates, and I don't mean the Vera. These are Kalyana, the ones that summoned the Primal. They're insisting they be allowed to attend the council. Lise is trying to reason with them, but she may need help. An invitation was extended to all the native beast tribes, but we assumed the Kalyana would refuse it out of hand. We had best go see for ourselves. Pippin, take command of our forces and be ready for battle. You've dealt with these Kalyana before. I'd have you at my side. Gods, it's good to see you. Ah, the Slayer has come. We have not forgotten how you sinned against the Lady of Bliss, but we did not come here to shed blood. You claim to seek harmony and all who call Giribanya home. If this is truly your wish, you will welcome us as envoys of the Ananta. It is our wish, and you are welcome, but we cannot condone the summoning of primals. If you want to enter the palace, I must ask that you first surrender any crystal jewelry. You have my word that they will be returned to you when the meeting is over. We will do as you ask, but you will not have our weapons. We are not so foolish as to place ourselves entirely at the mercy of our tormentors. I reckon that's the closest we're going to get to a compromise. And we will have the people standing guard. Aye, let them keep their swords. Then we have an agreement. Lead the way to your meeting chamber. Why do I have the feeling we've welcomed a viper into our midst? Technically, we literally have. And note on the box we just got, that will be item level 370 weapons. So you unless you just want the transmog, you'll probably want to use that on an Alf class.
Oh, oops, so well.
Getting a minion from this one.
Woohoo!
I think.
Yeah. Dress up Raban.
Read the description of it.
Oh, I passed it. Darn it.
It says detachable arm optional.
That's not cool.
This Kalanya elder's intentions seem at odds with all we know of her tribe. What do you think? I'm going with option 2.
We've been given a lot of choices.
Mm-hmm. Elusive understanding can be reached. It's not truly unheard of, I suppose. Those who follow Saint Shiva eventually sought reconciliation with Ishgard. Whatever the truth, I would take no chances. The guard must be strengthened, ideally with people who know a thing or two about primals. Can we rely on the scions? I'll round up our comrades and send them to the Alamegan quarter. You can go on ahead if you like. My thanks. I will see you in the palace.
I gotta tell you, my I opened up the equipment cache that we got a little far back, and the neck piece is gonna go so good with my current outfit. I'll link it.
Yeah, I think mine is the same. Yes, yes it is.
Yeah, the red little string.
Yeah, like a candy cane tie looking.
Yep.
Yeah, I was a little sad the box didn't have armor in it, but I got 3 upgrades out of the box, so I'm not going to complain too much.
Yeah.
I got 4, and that weapon was actually an upgrade.
Oh, the earrings are an upgrade for me because that's good.
Did you not buy a item level 400 bow last night, KJ?
Not just 400 pants.
Ah.
I haven't been doing my daily farming, so. And I know you said save it up and all that, but you know, at the time I was playing other tunes, so.
He didn't listen.
It's all good. I'm still doing more DPS than you. Ah! Okay, maybe not. Probably not.
I brought reinforcements. Arnvald told me of the arrival of our unexpected guests, and I agree that it would be prudent to call upon Ishtola and Thancred as well. One can never be too careful when dealing with the enthralled. I'm not familiar with the Kalanya tribe myself, but Elise's report suggested that they shunned contact with other races. Despised it, in fact, even compared to other Ananda. Indeed, this apparent reversal in attitude is most curious. No one expected a response to our invitation, much less an envoy, and I imagine Lise was forced to make some rather hasty arrangements in order to accommodate them. Speaking of which, how should we deploy ourselves? If the meeting is to be held in the throne room, 'twould seem wise to have eyes both inside and outside the palace. Istola and I could stand guard without. That leaves the three of you to keep watch over the proceedings in the throne room itself. Understood. We should join General Alden inside, then. You know of the rear entrance to the palace? It's on the eastern edge of the city, at the top of the stairs. The guard there should have been instructed to let you pass.
Any bets that we get there and the guard's knocked out? They've infiltrated. It's all big. Okay, I'm just.
No, I don't think so. I think we're gonna get there. They're gonna go do the meeting, and something's going to happen during the meeting.
Oh, there's a sightseeing thing.
Oh, right below us, yeah.
They're gonna commit suicide. That's it.
I would have you know that this is not the top of the stairs.
Thanks for the clarification.
You're with the Scions, sir? General Alden left orders that you were to be escorted inside, if you'll follow me. Well, yeah, he was standing right here. I could see him. Or at least I thought I could. He was standing right there, wasn't he? Maybe I'm seeing things now.
I don't know. They're putting blinders on me. I can't see now.
I don't think I've seen that beast tribe yet.
The foxy kind of.
Yeah.
I am Lise Hext, and I speak for the Resistance. Among you are village elders, refugee leaders, envoys from the Ananta and the Kikern. You've come from every corner of Girabania to help decide the future of Alamigo. But before that, I want to ask you a question. What was the first thing you noticed when you came in? For me, it was that empty throne. It has no one to sit on it now. No viceroy, no king. Would any of you like to take their place? Or should someone else sit there? Then let's sit here in a circle, as equals, and I hope, as friends.
Expertly done. Lys has removed monarchy as a choice early in the game, and positioned them to consider a joint government. All things considered, I would say events have got off to a fine start.
Bunch of savages.
And that is Alagana's stance on the matter.
Thank you, Ragenfrid. Another vote in favor. Next, let's hear from Shanti of the Kaliana. Tell us, how do your people feel about the idea of a republic?
The Ananta wish only that those who dwell within Gir Abania devote themselves to our faith. You shall all worship Sri Lakshmi! Lady of Bliss, grace us once more with your beauteous visage!
This can't be happening. No crystals were allowed through the door.
We can worry about the how of it later. We need to evacuate these people right now, or the Primal will make
It's up to us.
God damn it! The guards were already turned! Fools!
No, you don't!
The Kaliana would see us all enthralled.
Then they're going to be sorely disappointed. We have the Warrior of Light and Arenvold to shield us.
Aye, but they can't well defend your guests and attack the Primal, can they? We're stuck on the back foot.
All right, I think I have an idea. Keep these people safe, General. I'll be back as soon as I can.
Ah, whatever she's about, she'd best make it quick. Come then. Who will be next to die on my steel?
That looks like it's a break party time. How do we fight her without leaving our allies wide open? We can't stay on the back foot forever. No, damn it, if I think like that, we're already lost. I have the Warrior of Light at my side. We can do this. Isn't that right?
Why, I offer you peace and serenity.
I got.
I failed as well, KJ. So.
Yeah, but I got there just in time. I was in front of it. Anyway, yeah, they're cheaters.
I think we're supposed to actually ignore fighting her entirely.
Why, I offer you peace and serenity. I shall free you from your hate.
Damn it all! It's only a matter of time before we miss one.
Okay, that was kind of cool.
What of it?
I had a hunch, though.
Do you want to kill this thing or not?
I did kind of expect that was Lisa's plan when she ran off.
Yeah.
I got really far and then I failed.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do either. I think this is just we're waiting for something to happen at this moment.
Oh, I finally. Oh, shite. You could have hit people and that would have broken them out. Like, what's her name? Lisa. I put my marker on her, my mouse, and Lisa's helping me fight right now. I don't think I'm going to win this second time. I think I might go ahead and go easy. I'm not... Oh, it's another button thing.
Do not your souls weigh heavy?
I did the easy and it still was not that easy.
How do you get Lisa? Oh, never mind, she got out.
I think I won.
We did it! We beat her!
What is this?
I'm only going to say this once. The Ananta just summoned their primal in the throne room. My friends are fighting her, but they need help. They need someone with the Echo, and by the gods, I wish I had it, but I don't. I told you before that you still had time, but things have changed. I need your answer now. You can end it like Xenos, or you can fight for Alamigo. Your choice.
Seven hells. It's her, the Butcher.
It's done. Take me back to my cell.
You are not forgiven. Not you. You I will never forgive. But I will thank you. For standing against a primal and saving us from servitude. You have my thanks.
Well fought. That was a near thing. Aye, our stand against the Kalanya would have been brief indeed had you not volunteered for guard duty. We'd be enthralled as surely as our sentries were. They must have planned this far in advance. Security was my responsibility, and I know how dangerous primals can be. I should have... it's my fault. My stupid mistake. Nay, lass, we were all caught unawares. We will take this as a lesson and watch our own more carefully in the future. You can be sure that the lackeys who smuggled the crystals into the throne room weren't the only thralls in our ranks. The soldier who first spoke up in favor of the Kalanya keeping their weapons springs to mind. A primal servant is betrayed by his aura. If you mean to conduct an investigation, I can identify any others acting under Sri Lakshmi's influence. Thanks, Ishtola. We'd appreciate the help. Speaking of help, I almost fell over when Ferdola turned up. What was she even doing here? I asked her to come. Oh, that explains it then. Sad. Ragnfried was right. Her victims will never forgive her for what she's done. But I don't think Ferdola picked up that sword looking for forgiveness. She wanted to fight for her country. If you say the world in which Ferdola grew up is partly to blame for what she became, then as an Alamegan, I feel responsible for improving that world. We can't ignore what's happening right now. We have to show people a better way than vengeance, or we risk giving birth to a new generation of skulls. I know it's idealistic, but I want to help people to let go of their old grievances and make peace with each other. And I'll hold 1,000 meetings and talk till I'm blue in the face if that's what it takes. It's a long and arduous path you have chosen, but one well worth walking. Rest assured that I will do what I can to help you reach your destination. Thank you, Alphanode. The first step will be to get our representatives back in the throne room. They're a little shaken, but not one of them seemed ready to run. We're all determined to finish what we started. I will see that you're not interrupted. You and the Scions are to stand down. Get some rest, you've earned it.
A fine spot to contemplate the heavens. The meeting is over. The envoys have chosen to instate a government model on Ishgard's House of Commons, a ruling body of representatives elected by the people. It is a fair decision, and one which signals the end of my part in all this. But I would gaze upon Girabania's stars one last time before I leave. Forget something? Your Grace, there was no word.
Raubon Aldin, you are hereby dismissed as General of the Immortal Flames and relieved of your seat on the Syndicate.
But, Your Grace...
Raubon, I am no longer a child. Stay here in your homeland. Work with your brethren. Rebuild Alamigo.
You desire to stand alone. I understand, but remember what happened.
I remember full well the consequences of my naivety, and thus did I consult at length with a most trusted advisor ere I embarked upon this course.
A most trusted advisor? And what of me? Am I no longer deserving of your confidence?
What trust can there be between us when you withhold the truth from me? Did you think me oblivious to the anguish in your eyes when you spoke of returning to Uldar? For years and years, we have trusted one another. Yet now you refuse to confess your heart's desire?
I swore an oath to you that day on the sands. I pledged my sword.
And it has served me well. But in Pippin you have forged a new sword, as sharp and deadly as the blade you bequeathed him. I will show you a Sultana who can wield every weapon at her disposal, including Lolorito and his monetarist cronies. So follow your heart, please. You are home. You are free.
Nanamo.
Smile for me, Raubon. I would have this parting be a joyous one.
Thank you, Your Grace. It has been an honor to serve you and Uldar.
Tomorrow you will serve Alamigo and fight for the good of all Eorzea. Am I understood?
Yes, Your Grace.
Thanks for shielding us from Lakshmi, you two. If you hadn't been there, the rest of us would be worshipping her by now.
You're kind to include me, Lise, but we both know who did most of the work. I could scarce keep track of the battle, let alone land a telling blow. No shame in admitting it. The Warrior of Light has put far better men than me in the shade.
Did I mention that I encountered the Sultana in the palace? It would seem Her Grace has come to Girabania to oversee the final stages of her relocation project. She was in search of General Aldin, and I directed her to the rooftop garden. I do hope he was still there.
Are you in the habit of gossiping about the affairs of royalty, Master Leveilleur?
Certainly not, Your Grace. I was merely informing my companions.
Be at ease, Alphino. 'Twas only a jest. but I must yield the floor to Raubarn. He has an important announcement to make.
As of yesternight, I have been relieved of my post in the Immortal Flames and the Syndicate both.
I shall be assuming my father's duties. And may I say that Tizona has never felt heavier upon my back.
Twould seem I am in need of employment. Mayhap one of my old acquaintances can introduce me to a mercenary company or some such.
You may be getting on in years, father, but you'd struggle to find a band of sellswords who wouldn't snap your hand off. Your remaining hand.
Yes, the bull of Alamigo need not be put out to pasture just yet.
Your Grace has developed a wicked edge to her humor, and you, Pippin, would do well not to laugh when the future may hold the same for you.
So, does this mean you're staying?
Aye. That seems to be the way of it. I would be glad to aid you in rebuilding our nation, if you'll have me.
If, he says. Welcome home, Raubarn.
Well, that was unexpected, though you seem distinctly unsurprised. Either you are more astute than I give you credit for, or I'm losing my touch. In any event, one thing is certain. Alamigo will rejoice at the homecoming of her dearest son.
So, are you guys having difficulties with the blue electrical ollie things?
I have made it through. Basically, what I did is I just ran. I tried to hit more than one with each pulse. So, and just tried to make sure I always was trying to get the one that was the closest to reaching the good guys.
Oh, that's right. We had to go in separately. So I'm waiting for you all to show up.
Ah.
I'm like, are they, this is a first. I'm the first one done. This is crazy. Never mind. Ignore me. It's fine.
Okay.
Wait, where is everybody? Because now I'm lost.
Emo and I are standing next to you, KJ, but you still have a cutscene icon by your name.
Yeah, I'm talking to whoever was out there. Yeah.
Basically, I'm going to be clicking through things until I reach the end of the quest. So,
okay.
I will be I'll be stopping when the quest is done.
I forgot we went in.
I was worried.
I think it's about time I headed back to Rulker's Reach. What's next for all of you? Alize will be eager to hear of our recent events.
Yes, the bull of Alamigo need not be put out to pasture just yet.
So I shall join you, if you've no objections. I'd welcome the company. Why don't you come along to the Reach as well, once you've said your farewells to Nanamo and the others? Well, I had kind of expected the quest to actually end here, and then go pick up the next quest somewhere else, but the quest has now told me to go to Ralger's Reach, so that's where I am. I imagine that's where you are, Emo?
I haven't yet talked to Least right here.
Ah.
There's quite a bit, so I would get started on it. They're talking, and then I'm forgetting to click the next phrase. I'm like, oh shit, it's waiting for me. Oh, and then I just cut what's his name off. Okay.
Alright, guys, I believe we are going to call it here for the day. It's well past when I should have stopped. Yes. But I believe we're going to call it here for the day, and I will be back tomorrow with more Final Fantasy VI. Until then, I want to thank y'all for joining me. Hope y'all enjoyed it. I'll see y'all next time, and have a good night.